Ever sent a text and immediately wished you could unsend it? You wanted to say, I'm busy, but the words you chose sounded more like go away, and then your friend replied with just a question mark? We've all been there.
Oh, that feeling in your stomach, it's the worst. Or you're in a meeting and you have this brilliant idea, but the perfect word is stuck on the tip of your tongue. It's like your brain is buffering. You know the word exists. You might have even learned it last week, but it's just gone.
Exactly. It's this incredibly frustrating cycle. You study, you make lists, you use flashcards, and then poof, the words vanish when you need them most. It makes you feel like you're not making any progress, like you're stuck in beginner mode forever.
We know this feels overwhelming. It can make you want to give up. I had a student, Sarah, who was so discouraged. She told me, Emily, I study for an hour every single day, but I can't remember anything. My vocabulary isn't growing. What am I doing wrong? She felt like she was wasting her time.
And Sarah's story is why we're here today, because she wasn't doing anything wrong. She just didn't have the right system. Today, we are going to fix that. We're going to show you how to memorize and actually use 50 new words in just 1 week.
And we're not talking about a magic trick. We're talking about a science-backed, brain-friendly method that will change the way you learn forever. Let's get started.
Okay, so why 50 words? Why does this even matter so much? It's easy to think, oh, it's just vocabulary, but it's so much more than that.
It really is. This isn't just about passing a test or sounding smart. This is about connection. It's about finally being able to text your crush without spending 20 minutes rewriting the message in a panic. It's about walking into a coffee shop and ordering with confidence, maybe even sharing a small joke with the barista.
That's so true. It's the difference between watching a movie with subtitles and actually getting the joke at the same time as everyone else. I'll never forget the first time I understood a fast-paced conversation in a movie without reading. I felt like I had unlocked a new level in a video game. It was pure joy.
That's the feeling we want for you. This method isn't about cramming your brain with useless data. It's about building a bridge between your thoughts and the world. Every new word is a new way to share a piece of yourself, to understand someone else's story, to feel like you truly belong in the conversation.
And the system we're sharing today is designed for exactly that. It focuses on meaning, on connection, not just memorization. Stick with us because tip number 4 in our plan is a total game changer for how you practice pronunciation. It will literally save you hours of frustration.
Oh, definitely. But before we build the new, we have to tear down the old. There are a few common mistakes that almost every learner makes, and they are vocabulary killers. Let's expose them so you can avoid them forever.
All right, let's talk about mistake number 1. We call it the rote memorization trap.
Oh, I know this one well. I had a student, Chen, who was incredibly dedicated. He showed me his vocabulary notebook, and I was amazed. He had hundreds of flashcards. On one side, an English word, ambiguous. On the other side, the translation in his native language. He would drill these for an hour every night.
Sounds like a good student, so what was the problem?
The problem was, when I asked him to use ambiguous in a sentence, he completely froze. He could recognize the word, he could translate it, but he couldn't use it. His brain had stored it as an isolated piece of data, like a random file in a messy folder. It had no context, no connection to anything else.
That's the trap. Your brain isn't a dictionary, it's a web. It learns by connecting new information to what you already know. Simply memorizing a word and its translation is like trying to build a house with bricks, but no cement. The pieces are there, but they'll fall apart the second you try to build something with them.
Exactly. It's tiring, it's boring, and worst of all, it doesn't work in real conversations. Which brings us right to the next big one.
Mistake number 2, the translation overload. Let me tell you about my student Javier. He was preparing for a job interview in English. He was brilliant in his own language, a real expert in his field. but he was terrified of the interview. His strategy was to mentally translate everything he wanted to say, word for word, from Spanish to English.
Facepalm, I can see where this is going.
You bet. So the interviewer asks him, "Why are you interested in this position?" In Spanish, Javier thinks, "Me siento apasionado por este campo." He translates it directly. "I feel myself passionate for this field." The interviewer just looked confused. The meaning was lost in translation.
That's such a common issue. Every language has its own rhythm, its own structure. When you translate word for word, you're not speaking English. You're speaking your native language with English words. It sounds unnatural, and it actually slows you down because your brain is doing two jobs at once, thinking and translating.
It's a massive mental bottleneck. The goal is to start thinking in English, even on a small scale. We'll show you how to do that in a bit.
Okay, time for the final and maybe most sneaky mistake. Mistake number 3, the one-and-done illusion. This is the mistake that feels the most unfair. You learn a new word, you understand it, you use it in one sentence, you feel great. Okay, you think, I've learned ephemeral. Got it. You check it off your list.
And then a week later, someone says the word ephemeral, and you have a vague memory of hearing it, but no idea what it means. It's like a ghost word.
It is, and it's not your fault. It's your brain's fault. No, really. It's a scientific principle called the forgetting curve. When you learn something new, your brain starts to forget it almost immediately unless you tell it, hey, this is important. Remember this.
If you only see a word once, your brain assumes it's unimportant and lets it go to make space for other things, like what you need to buy at the grocery store. Learning a word one time is like meeting a person once at a huge party. Are you going to remember their name a month later? Probably not.
You have to have multiple encounters. You need a system to remind your brain about that word at the perfect moment, just before you're about to forget it. And that, my friends, is the secret sauce.
So, to recap, stop memorizing isolated lists, stop translating everything word for word, and stop thinking one look is enough. Are you ready for the solution?
Let's build your new vocabulary powerhouse. We call it the Word Garden Method.
The Word Garden Method is a 7-day plan to plant 50 new words in your brain and help them grow into a strong, active vocabulary.
Think of your brain as a garden. You can't just throw seeds anywhere and expect them to grow. You need to prepare the soil, plant them carefully, water them, and give them sunshine. Let's do this day by day.
Step 1 is the thematic harvest. This is what you do on day 1. Instead of learning 50 random words like cat, democracy, and photosynthesis, you're going to choose one theme, just one. For example, office and business, travel and vacation, or cooking and food.
Why a theme? Because it automatically creates that web of connections we talked about. When you learn words like agenda, deadline, invoice, and quarterly report, together, they link to each other in your mind. Recalling one helps you recall the others.
It's like organizing your closet. If all your shirts are in one place, it's easy to find the one you want. If they're scattered all over the house, it's chaos. So your first task for day 1 is to choose your theme and find your 50 words. You can find lists online, watch a YouTube video about your theme, or read an article and pull out words you don't know.
Okay, you have your list of 50 words. Don't panic. You are not learning all 50 today. Today, you move on to step 2 with just the first 10 words.
Step 2, the sentence seed, also on day 1. Now, you take your first 10 words. For each word, you're going to write one sentence. But here's the secret. The sentence has to be personal, funny, or weird. It has to mean something to you.
This is how we fight the rote memorization trap. We're giving the word context and an emotional hook. My student Steve was learning the word ambitious. He could have written, "The ambitious man wanted a promotion." Boring. Instead, he wrote, "My ambitious cat is plotting to steal my dinner."
I love that. He will never forget what ambitious means now because he has this hilarious personal image in his mind. If you're learning the word for itinerary, don't write "the itinerary was full." Write, "My dream itinerary involves a nap on every continent."
Make it about you, your family, your dreams, your pets. That personal connection is the cement that makes the word stick. So day 1, harvest 50 words from one theme, then plant the first 10 by writing a personal sentence for each. That's it for day 1.
Now we move to day 2. You're going to work with the next 10 words on your list. This is step 3, the visual fertilizer.
Humans are incredibly visual creatures. We remember faces better than names. So for your next 10 words, you're going to find or draw a simple picture that represents the word.
Wait, Emily, some people are going to say, but I can't draw.
It doesn't matter. A terrible stick figure drawing is sometimes even more memorable because it's funny. The point is the act of creating a visual link. If you're learning the word serene, you could Google image search for serene beach and save the photo you like best next to the word in a digital document.
Or you could draw a little stick figure meditating. For the word chaotic, you could draw a scribble. The metaphor here is powerful. This is like adding a photo to a contact in your phone. You instantly know who you're calling. You're giving your vocabulary a face.
So, on day 2, you take words 11 through 20. Find a simple image for each one. And, this is important, quickly review your 10 sentences from day 1. Just read them over.
Perfect. Let's move to day 3. Time for the next 10 words and my favorite tip. Step 4, the audio water. This one is a game changer. For words 21 through 30, we're going to get your ears and mouth involved. You're going to listen to the word, and then you're going to say it aloud.
This seems simple, but it's critical. So many learners only read English. They never practice speaking. This builds muscle memory for your mouth. It trains your ears to recognize the sound of the word in a real conversation.
Use a free tool like Google or Forvo.com. Type in the word, listen to the native speaker pronunciation 3 or 4 times, then try to mimic it. Even better, record yourself on your phone and compare it to the original.
The first time you do this, it might feel strange. You might notice that your th sound isn't quite right, or that you're stressing the wrong syllable. This is not a failure. This is a discovery. Now you know exactly what to work on.
And when you finally say it and it sounds right, high five gesture to the camera, that's a huge win. You've just taught your body how to speak a new piece of English. So on day 3, you're working on the pronunciation of words 21 to 30 and doing a quick review of your day 1 sentences and day 2 images. See the pattern?
It's all coming together. Now, for the most important part of the whole system, days 4, 5, and 6, this is where the magic happens. We're on to step 5, the spaced repetition sunshine. On day 4, you'll introduce words 31 to 40. On day 5, words 41 to 50. You can use any of the previous methods, sentences, images, audio, whatever feels best for those words. But the main focus of these 3 days is review.
This is how we defeat the forgetting curve. Spaced repetition just means reviewing information at increasing intervals. The first review is soon after you learn it. The next one is a little later, and the next one is even later.
You can use a fancy app for this, but honestly, the simplest way is with a physical system. It's called the Lightner system. All you need are a few small boxes, or even just piles on your desk.
Here's how it works. You write your 50 words on flashcards, English on one side, and on the other side, your personal sentence, or a drawing, or a hint, not a direct translation. All 50 cards start in box 1.
On day 4, you review every card in box 1. If you get a word right instantly, you move it to box 2. If you struggle or get it wrong, it stays in box 1.
On day 5, you first review the tricky cards in box 1 again. If you get one right, it moves to box 2. Then, you review the cards in box 2. If you get a box 2 card right, it graduates to box 3. If you get it wrong, it has to go all the way back to box 1.
It sounds harsh, but it's brilliant. The system automatically forces you to spend more time on the words you find difficult and less time on the words you already know well. You review box 1 every day, box 2 every 2 to 3 days, and box 3 maybe once a week.
This is the core of the whole method. Consistent, spaced, active review. By the end of day 6, you will have introduced all 50 words and reviewed them multiple times.
And that brings us to day 7, the reality test. On the final day, it's time to use your words. Your mission is to use at least 5 of your new words in a real situation. Write an email to a colleague, leave a comment on a YouTube video, talk to a language partner, write a short story about your theme.
This final step transforms the words from things you know into things you use. It's the ultimate proof that the words are now part of your active vocabulary. This isn't a test to grade yourself, it's a celebration of your new ability.
And that's the 7-day plan. Harvest a theme, plant with sentences, fertilize with images, water with audio, and give it all spaced repetition sunshine. But there's one more crucial detail we need to cover.
Yes, and this is what most learners miss, even if they use flashcards. It's the difference between truly learning and just fooling yourself.
It's the concept of active recall versus passive review. They sound similar, but they are worlds apart.
Passive review is what most of us do. You look at the English word on your flashcard, diligent. Then you flip it over and read the sentence. The diligent student finished all her homework. You nod and think, yep, I knew that.
But you didn't really know it. Your brain just recognized it. Recognition is easy. It feels productive, but it's a trick. Active recall is much harder and 1,000 times more effective.
Active recall is when you look at the hint side of the card first. You see your personal sentence, the blank student finished all her homework, and you force your brain to retrieve the word diligent from the depths of your memory.
That moment of struggle, what is it? It starts with a D. That is the single most important moment in learning. That's your brain building a stronger neural pathway. It's like lifting a weight. The struggle is what builds the muscle.
Ugh, but this is just so hard. My brain is blank. I look at the sentence and nothing. I can't remember it. Can't I just flip it over and read the answer? It's so much easier.
I know that feeling so well. It's that blank mind fear. It feels like failure, but I promise you it's the exact opposite. It means your brain is on the edge of learning something deeply. Let's tackle that fear together.
Okay, but what do I do when my mind is blank?
Don't give up and flip the card immediately. Give your brain a tiny clue. Let's say the answer is diligent. First, just try to remember the first letter, D. Does that help?
Diligent. Yes, I got it.
See? That little struggle and eventual success sends a powerful signal to your brain. This word is important, and I can retrieve it. That feeling of victory is what makes vocabulary stick. Active recall is your grammar superhero. When you do this, you are truly learning.
Okay, I think everyone gets the idea. It's all about the effortful retrieval. So, are you ready to try it?
Let's do a quick active recall drill together. We've chosen 5 words from the theme of emotions. We'll give you a sentence with a blank. We want you to shout the answer out loud. Ready?
Word number 1. The sentence is, after working for 12 hours straight, I felt completely blank. The hint is it starts with an E.
The word is exhausted. How'd you do?
Number 2. She was blank to see her best friend who had moved away a year ago. It starts with a T.
And the answer is thrilled. Okay, pausing now. You're doing amazing. Even if you're just thinking the word, you are firing those neurons. The effort is what counts. Let's do a couple more.
Number 3. He felt blank about the big presentation. He wasn't sure he was ready. Starts with an A.
The word is anxious.
Last one. I was completely blank by his strange behavior. I had no idea why he was acting that way. Starts with a B.
Baffled. The word is baffled. Great job, everyone. That effort you just felt, that's the feeling of real learning.
So there you have it, the word garden method, a complete step-by-step system to learn 50 new useful words in 1 week and actually remember them.
We've busted the myths about rote memorization and translation. We've shown you how to make learning personal, visual, and active. The key takeaway is this: memorizing vocabulary isn't about having a good memory. It's about having a good system.
Today, you didn't just learn a few tips. You gained a blueprint for building a vocabulary that lets you express exactly who you are, to share your brilliant ideas, to tell your funny stories, to finally feel understood. That's the real goal.
This is about so much more than English. It's about gaining the freedom to connect with people from all over the world, the freedom to be yourself in another language. That's a superpower.
We are so proud of you for taking this step today. You're not just watching a video, you're investing in yourself. You're joining the DialogueBoost family, where we turn frustration into fluency, 1 week at a time.
Your challenge, should you choose to accept it, is to try this method this week. Let us know in the comments what theme you are choosing for your first 50 words. We want to hear all about it. And if this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to DialogueBoost for more secrets to confident, connected English. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.